Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. Thought I would do a quick technical analysis for you guys on 𝗕𝗘𝗪. There was some interesting stuff that was going on yesterday with the launch on Binance. So obviously 𝗕𝗘𝗪 now available on Binance. We saw a bit of a bump to the upside on that. Let me just grab my percentage tool here to see what was going on. So we've got, about a 40% bump on the price of 𝗕𝗘𝗪 just on the back of the launch with Coinbase. Now there was an ABC inside there. There was an ABC coming to the downside. So I actually scoped out a bit of an area here for a bounce to the upside, a good buy zone. I had this scoped out a little bit, maybe optimistically, about 626 to about 644. We actually came down and we missed my buy zone. It came to 649. So yeah, a little bit. Oh, 650 exactly, according to Binance. Yeah, exactly 650. So I kind of missed out on the buying opportunity here, but it did hit my first exit point, about 9.65% in profit. It had that kind of come in there a little bit lower, which is kind of unfortunate. So we had that move upwards, and we are potentially tracking a little bit down now. We've got to get a bit of a corrective move go in here across these time frames. The daily is looking pretty good though, so it does look like we might continue this motion to the upside. My overall kind of target for this is about 25%. It does look like it's something that we could potentially see if this is a big A, this being a B wave. We could get that swing out of here a little bit, but I think it's a bit too soon to say. We might have to have a little bit more corrective action, and if we do, then I think we might come back down into this buy zone, and I might be able to scoop some up before we actually start to see that push back higher a little bit. Obviously, with the Binance listing here and pushing up, you do expect a lot of volatility, right? And usually you find that you move up, you have the collapse come back down. So it's actually a relatively deep correction about the 702, and I was aiming for that 786 just inside the middle here because of all of these wicks basically creating a lot of selling pressure. So yeah, I was thinking, and I still do, we have a possibility that we might come back down into this range here, find support, maybe even a little bit lower, in and around this range just here. And yeah, I'm gonna say maybe 617 if we're lucky, before we start to push back up again. And again, I'm in this for a quick flip on 𝗕𝗘𝗪. So you're talking about like 9, maybe 10%, possibly 15, 25 if you want to go up to the previous high point, or potentially 37% if we want to go for a C wave higher. But that is subject to change depending on how low we actually go with the price. Okay, if we come down just to where I was anticipating us coming down to, then we are talking about 37%. However, if we do drop down lower, then that obviously lowers the target quite a bit as well and would alter some of this analysis. So for 𝗕𝗘𝗪, I think there's an opportunity to get in and get out with profit here. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I cannot offer you financial advice. This is just what I am planning on doing. I am looking at a good entry point for myself, and I'll make sure you do your own research and all of that kind of good stuff if this is something that you are interested in. So just treat this as educational purposes and you should be good. So obviously, this is the area that I'm looking for. I'm looking at probably doing a quick flip. I'm not looking for any kind of these crazy gains. I'm not looking to kind of take it up that high. I'm just looking for a quick 10% flip here. So I'm looking at coming down maybe a little bit low. As I said, 617 here for 𝗕𝗘𝗪 seems to be a good area. If we've had the ABC up, which I don't necessarily think we have, I think there's probably a possibility of pushing a little bit higher before we pull back. So if we were to run an experiment with that, that would basically say that we'd come up into that higher range just here, hitting the resistance line at about 745, and then potentially pulling back down. But that stochastic RSI, I'm not a fan of where it is right now on our hourly chart, but it is possible that we do push up a little bit higher before we pull back down anyway. So it could be a move up towards that range here, just where that consolidation is at 745 approximately. So if we could be looking at from the current price, if we were to enter, because I have missed my opportunity here, then it'd be about 8%. I'm not going to do that. I still think I'm going to wait until this lower range comes in, because even if we did, there's the possibility of moving on up with an A, a B, and a C. to approximately that range, I still think actually you'll be better off not trading in on that C wave and waiting to come back into this lower range here, and then take it much higher and gain more out of it that way. Patience will be key in my opinion, and that's what I intend to do here. Now when you shoot up into our daily range, now here we can see they had a good push up, we pulled back down, and this is actually looking like a pretty good move, right? So we have our C wave low coming in right down here. Okay, so we have the ABC move here. Now we're tracking potentially a pretty good run to the upside, right? So on the larger scale, this is something that would take quite some time to play out. We'd have A, we'd have B come down to this low point, and then we'd have a C wave go higher. Very similar to what Bitcoin's doing, targeting 47K. Again, take quite some time to play out. But again, here you'd see potentially moving up towards $12 on a largest time frame, right? So when we're thinking about these wicks that we've seen on our daily chart, they're absolutely huge. There's a lot of selling pressure. The markets don't want the price to move up right now, and there's obviously quite a bit of and Binance is obviously rife with this, but price points hitting exactly to the penny, right? And these high wicks are basically showing you that there's huge selling pressure, but there is a reasonable amount of buying pressure here as well, right? So I think we are getting into a pretty good range. Now, even if we were to just look at it from the perspective that we have this larger ABC playing out towards $12, we also have here A, B, and what looks like a double top. I'll check that in a second with the wicks. Yeah, so double top with the wick. So they're kind of reaching the technical point there. You could argue that we created a double top and now we're actually on reversal. But because it's such a strange thing, I mean, it could well be that that's exactly what's gone on. We basically create the double top and then we pull back down. So we'll be open to that idea, but I'm not expecting ourselves to come down any lower than we were previously. And again, we are tracking or trying to track higher. Overall, this is looking at about $8. Actually, no, it's not. It's coming up here, isn't it? Yeah. So let me just grab hold of that fib, run it from here to here, transpose it over to here. Yeah, it's about $9.50 right in there. And let me just remove that for a sec. So we end up with a couple of scenarios, right? So we've got the short time frame looking at around $8. We've got a medium time frame looking at about $9.50. And then we've got the large time frame looking at about $12, right? So everything's kind of indicating an upward move for KDA. But do expect volatility. There's clearly a lot of volatility in here, whether that's a lot of shorts and longs and kind of leverage and stop losses going to be taken out of the market right now. Not overly sure. I haven't really looked at that. But I think ultimately the trends here, although corrective patterns on the larger scale are in the upward direction, not the downward direction. And that double top scenario on the smaller time frame a little bit worrying, because you could articulate this as a big A, this being a B wave, and then you come down lower. But I think that's very unlikely considering the positioning on our daily stochastic RSI, our weekly stochastic RSI, and the monthly doesn't exist because it's too fresh. But ultimately, yeah, everything's actually looking for good moves to the upside. There's a little bit of volatility to expect on those smaller time frames, as I said, and I do have my kind of small short kind of flip here on KDA. Get into that buy zone and get on out, guys. I'm going to leave the video there. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that, and let me know in the comments below, do you want me to cover KDA a bit more? I'm interested to know your thoughts and opinions, guys. I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.